Hello everyone, myself Santosh Raikar. In this semester, I am going to handle a subject high voltage engineering. This is only theoretical subject. It has a subject code of 18EE56. It has a credit of 3. Again, this is a 40-60 pattern. 40 marks for continuous internal evaluation, 60 marks for semester end examination. Let us discuss brief introduction regarding the syllabus. What are the contents of a syllabus we are going to discuss now. In high voltage engineering subject, it consists of 5 modules. Each module consists of sub parts. See, module number 1 is divided into 3 parts. First one is conduction and breakdown in gases, conduction and breakdown in liquid dielectrics, breakdown in solid dielectrics. Each part has a number of bits. So, for example, conduction and breakdown in gases, it consists of number of bits. Those are gases as insulating media, collision process, ionization process, Taussend's current growth equation, current growth in the presence of a secondary uh, process, Taussend's criterion for breakdown, experimental determination of coefficients alpha and gamma, breakdown in electronegative gases, time lags for breakdown, streamer theory of breakdown in gases, Paschen law, breakdown in non-uniform fields and corona discharges. So these are the number of bits which are present in the first part of a first module, that is conduction and breakdown in gases. Similarly, conduction and breakdown in liquid dielectrics, it consists of liquids as insulators, pure liquids and commercial liquids, conduction and breakdown in pure liquids, conduction and breakdown in commercial liquids. Similarly, the bits of breakdown in solid dielectrics are intrinsic breakdown, electromechanical breakdown, thermal breakdown. So this is the first module of high voltage engineering subject. Now second module is, so this is for generation of high voltage and current. It consists of again number of sub bits, that is generation of high direct current voltage, generation of high alternating voltages, generation of impulse voltages, generation of impulse currents, tripping and control of impulse generators. So this is regarding the introduction of second module. Now let's begin. Third module of high voltage engineering subject, that is measurement of high voltages and currents. So it consists of measurement of high direct current voltage, measurement of high AC and impulse voltages, measurement of high currents, direct alternating and impulse, cathode ray oscillographs for impulse voltage and current measurements. Again, fourth module is over voltage phenomena and insulation coordination in electric power systems. It consists of number of subbits. Those are national causes for over voltages, lightning phenomena, over voltage due to switching surges, system faults and other abnormals, principle of insulation coordination on high voltage and extra high voltage power systems. Now module 5, it is divided into 2 parts. First part is non-destructive testing of materials and electrical apparatus. It consists of Number of subparts, those are measurement of dielectric constant and loss factor, partial discharge measurement. Then a second part of our fifth module is high voltage testing of electrical apparatus, testing of insulators and bushings, testing of isolators and current circuit breakers, testing of cables, testing of transformers, testing of surge arresters, radio interference measurements, testing of HVDC valves and equipments. So these are the all 5 modules. What are the contents of the 5 modules is discussed. Now these are the some course outcomes after learning of this subject. What are the things you are going to study? What is the objective or what is the outcome of that particular subject? So is listed here. We just go through with these points. Then the question paper pattern, you know, so the question paper will have 10 questions. Each full question carries 20 marks. There will be 2 full questions with a maximum of 3 sub questions in one full question from each module. From each module there will be 2 full questions, maximum of 3 sub questions in one full questions. Sub questions in the sense of what? For example, question number 1. So sub questions are question A, question B, question C, like that. 1A, 1B, 1C. Maximum there will be 3 sub questions. Then each full question with sub question will cover the contents under a module. Students will have to answer 5 full questions, selecting one full question from each module. So from each module you need to select one full questions, then total you have to answer 5 full questions. Each full questions carries 20 marks and each full question has the maximum of 3 sub questions. Now what a textbook is to be referred for this particular subject. So there is only one textbook is sufficient for this subject. So that is High Voltage Engineering by M.S. Naidu and B. Kamaraj. So this is a good textbook. So 5th edition 2013 publication. So I think this one textbook is sufficient for this subject. Otherwise, you just go through with these reference books, whichever you feel comfort, so just refer that. Let us begin our study with first module, first part. So, you know, first part of the first module is, so which is represented as 1.1 conduction and breakdown in gases. See, these are the contents of first part of the first module, that is conduction and breakdown in gases. So it consists of the introduction part, gases as insulating media, collision process, ionization process, Tausson's current growth equation, current growth in the presence of a secondary process, Tausson's criterion for breakdown, experimental determination of coefficients alpha and gamma, breakdown in electronegative gases, time lags for breakdown, streamer theory of breakdown in gases, Paschen laws, breakdown in non-uniform fields and corona discharges. So these all contents we'll discuss one by one. Now let us discuss introduction of high voltage. You know, in modern times high voltages are used for a wide variety of applications covering the power systems, industry and research laboratories. In a present scenario, high voltage plays a very important role in power system aspects as well as industrial and research aspects. High voltages are applied in many laboratories such as nuclear research, in particle accelerators, etc. Even high voltages are used for transmission of large bulk of power over long distances. So, for example, voltages up to 100 kV are used in electrostatic precipitators, in automobile ignitions coils, etc. So I think you might have know what you mean by the electrostatic precipitator. So usually the power plant, it consists of the electrostatic precipitator, and for that electrostatic precipitator, so we need supply of 100 kV. So for transmitting such huge capacity of voltage to the electrostatic precipitator, so here, so the high voltage engineering concept is used. And even X-ray equipment for medical and industrial applications also uses high voltages. Modern high voltage test laboratories employs voltage up to 6 megavolt or more. And the diverse conditions under which a high voltage apparatus is used necessitate careful design of its insulation and the electrostatic field profiles. You know, obviously, so in order to carry such a high voltage, so we need to focus on the water design aspect. Design aspect in the sense of water, the insulation over the water cable. It is very essential. And also the field, so that is electrostatic field. I think you might have know what you mean by the electrostatic field. So during the design criteria, so we need to consider, so this is one more aspect, that is electrostatic field profile. So that is, by designing the high voltage apparatus, so we need to focus our design criteria on what? The main insulation and the electrostatic field profiles. The principal media of insulation used are gases, vacuum, solid and liquid, or a combination of these. So usually we use the insulations are gases, vacuum, solid and liquid, or sometimes a combination of both these, either gases, vacuum, vacuum solid, gases, liquid, like that. Now let us discuss gases as insulating media. So that is dielectric gases. You know, first we'll discuss what you mean by the dielectric material. Basically, the dielectric material, it is nothing but it is a pure electrical insulators. You know what you mean by the insulator. Insulator does not conduct, so it resists the flow of water current through them. So basically, dielectric materials are what? Pure electrical insulators. Now, by applying a sensible electric field, the dielectric gases can be what? Polarized. It can be polarized means what? So by applying the electric field, so the insulator may change, or insulator may lose its properties. Once it loses its properties, so then it becomes as in what? The conductor also. So that is called as what? The breakdown principle. So that will study in next slide. Now, vacuum, solids, liquids and gases can be a dielectric materials. So what are the dielectric materials here? So the dielectric materials may be vacuum, it may be water solids, it may be water liquids, or it may be water gases. A dielectric gas is also called as what? Insulating gas. So the dielectric gas, it is called as what? The insulating gas. It is a dielectric material in gaseous state which can prevent electrical discharge. Obviously, so this is as a what? Insulator means what? It prevent the what? Electrical discharge. Examples of dielectric gases are ammonia, air, carbon dioxide, sulfur, hexafluoride, carbon monoxide, nitrogen, hydrogen, etc. So these are the what examples for the dielectric gases. The moisture content in dielectric gases may alter the properties to be a good dielectric. So obviously, the moisture content on a dielectric material. So it may what alter its properties. It may lose its what characteristics. So even we also need to take care of what maintenance also, system maintenance. Okay. Now breakdown in gases is the fall in resistance of the insulating gases. So here one more term, so which plays a very important role here. So that is breakdown in gases or breakdown in dielectric material. So what do you mean by the breakdown? Breakdown in gases or breakdown in any dielectric material. It is nothing but it is the fall in the resistance of the insulating gases. If the resistance of insulating gases it decreases, obviously it becomes to what? The conductor. This will happen when the applied voltage increases than the breakdown voltage. So here one more term come into picture, that is breakdown voltage. What do you mean by the breakdown voltage? Or this is also called as what? Dielectric strength. Breakdown voltage, dielectric strength, it is nothing but it is a maximum sustainable voltage of what? The dielectric material. So for example, if I consider the breakdown in gases, uh, I just consider SF6 gas. So SS breakdown in SF6 gas, so obviously it can withstand some what voltage level. So this is what maximum withstanding capacity of that hexafluoride gas, that is sulfur hexafluoride gas. For example, I just consider what it is about 10 kV. So if you supposed to apply the electric field more than 10 kV, so then breakdown occur. So whatever be the 10 kV, it is nothing but what? It is the withstanding capacity of what? Sulfur hexafluoride gas. So that is called as what? The breakdown voltage, or it's a dielectric strength. As a result of this, the gas will begin to what? Conduct. So once the breakdown occur, so the gas will becomes what? Conductor. So it conducts. This is what the there will be a strong voltage rise in a small area in the gas. So this area of strong voltage rise is the reason of partial ionization of nearby gas and starts conduction. So once the breakdown occur, so if you go on increase the the breakdown voltage, so then the insulating material, it starts conducting continuously. This is made intentionally in low pressure discharges. Usually in low pressure discharges it happens. The Paschen's law approximated the voltage which causes electrical breakdown. So the Paschen which approximated the voltage, that is which is related to the electrical breakdown. So this is the the function of the product of pressure and gap length. So this is V is equals to function F means what? Function of P D. P means what? Pressure, and D means what? The gap length. Gap length in the sense of what here? The distance. So distance between what? The electrode with respect to what? The insulating media. So here gas itself is the insulating media. So there is a distance between what the electrode and the what the gas. At high pressure and increased gap length condition, the breakdown voltage is more or less proportional to the water product of these two. So obviously the voltage, that is the what electrical, which is related to the electrical breakdown. So it depends on what, or it is proportional to what, the gap length. So here the pressure and gap length also plays a very important role in what, the electrical breakdown. Now let us see the breakdown mechanism. The mechanism of breakdown will directly depends on the water nature of the water dielectric gases and the electrode polarity in which the breakdown begins. That means, so this breakdown mainly it depends on the water, the nature of the dielectric gases. So that is the characteristics of the dielectric gases. So what kind of the dielectric gas is there, and what is the properties of that dielectric gas? So properties of dielectric gas is also plays a very important role in a water breakdown mechanism. And there is a one more point, that is electrode polarity is also plays a very important role in water the breakdown mechanism. You know, polarity in the sense of water, either it may be water the positive ion or it may be water negative ion. So here we can define in terms of what ions for electrode. So that represents the water the polarities. So these 2 points are very important in breakdown mechanism. First one is water, the nature of the dielectric gases. Second one is the water, the electrode polarities. If breakdown begins at cathode, then the supply of initiatory electrons is by the electrode itself. If breakdown it begins at cathode, you know, cathode and anode. So this is what the electrode. So there is a cathode. If the breakdown begins at cathode, so then the supply of initiatory electrons is by water electrode itself. That means the electrons will ejected from the water the cathode. So this is the water, the key role for the water, the breakdown. So that is, if breakdown begins at cathode, then the supply of initiatory electrons is by water, the electrode itself only. Then the electrons will get accelerates, numerous electrons formation occurs and it results in breakdown. If breakdown begins at anode, then the supply of initiatory electrons is by water, the gas itself. You know, there is a cathode and an anode. Either the breakdown it begins at cathode or it may begin at anode itself. If breakdown begins at cathode, the initiatory electrons it is by the water electrode itself. What is the electrode? That in that case cathode itself is the water electrode. If a breakdown it begins at anode, in that case the initiatory electrons it is by water the gas itself. So this is the meaning of this sentence. Please go through with this. Let us discuss properties of dielectric gases. The preferred properties of an excellent gaseous dielectric material are as follows. So it has utmost dielectric strength. Dielectric strength of dielectric gases are what? It is what? More. Fine heat transfer. Heat transfer from one electron to another electron. So during the water the breakdown. So this will be water. It is good incombustible. So you cannot water combust the gas, and it has a good chemical composition. And inertness means what? Absence of the power of motion. So that means what? So it is not capable to what? The move. So that is what? Inertness. So environmentally non-poisonous. So this is what this is not a poisonous gas. That means environmental this is good. Small temperature of condensation. Condensation, you know, condensation means so capable to what convert one state of material into another state. For example, it is capable to convert the gaseous form into what the liquid form. So this is what the condensation uh, principle. So for small temperature of a condensation, even for small temperature also, so it can condense. Gas can condense and it is converted into what another state. Acquirable at low cost. So at, this is what economical. So these are the what some properties of dielectric gases and application of dielectric gases. You know, it is used in transformers. So obviously for cooling purpose. So the dielectric material that is as an insulating media. So gas is used and radar, waveguides, circuit breakers, and some switchgear equipments, high voltage switching. It is used as a water coolant also. So they are usually used in the water high voltage applications, just like a water, as a water the coolant. So this insulating gas can be used usually in case of water the high voltage application. So this is about the insulating media or the dielectric gas. So in next video we'll come up with some more bits of water, the first part of the water, first module. Till then,